One of my recent clients has gotten $5,000 in coaching sales from just 2 posts on Instagram. And in this video, I want to share with you guys how. My name is Allison from AllisonRaves.co, and I help content creators and coaches and service providers to get to 6 figures and beyond by leveraging social media and content and mindset strategies. And so in this video, I'm going to give you guys the 7 steps that this client took to get to those 5K months just with those 2 posts on Instagram, sorry, 5K in sales. Now, one thing I want to say about this video that I think is really exciting and fun for me is that I'm not giving you the exact little tiny steps that she did, because her niche and her audience and what she's doing is going to be totally different than what you're doing, or it might be a little bit different than what you're doing. I'm going to be giving you the 7 steps so you can apply regardless of what your niche is. Now, I will say these tips are best for coaching or service-based offers, more on the high ticket side. These will also work for low ticket offers, but it might be a little bit more effort than some of the other strategies for low ticket offers that exist out there. So quick little caveat. But with all of that said, let's just go ahead and jump in to 7 fast ways to get coaching clients from Instagram. And the best part about this is that it's totally free. So here we go. So the very first thing you need to think about when you want to get coaching clients from Instagram is your overall messaging. So it's very confusing for an audience if you want to talk about recipes and also talk about travel and also talk about your kids and also talk about animals and all those things. All those things get to be pillars or lifestyle pillars within your visual content. But as far as how you actually want to be positioned as an authority, you need to narrow that down. And this is called messaging. This is called like focusing on your overall messaging. And so, or you can also call it like defining your niche. And this is something that makes a lot of people feel overwhelmed because they're usually people who are content creators are multi-passionate. We have a lot of different interests. And so here's some advice that will help you to kind of narrow down if you're just starting out on what you want your overall messaging to be. So there's 3 main things when you're kind of deciding what to sell and what your Instagram account is going to be about. There's 3 main things you can ask yourself. Number 1, what am I really interested in? What have I been interested in for a while? And what do I have some personal successes at? And number 2, what are you actually skilled at? Because if we want to be able to monetize the platform, you have to have some kind of either natural skill or developed skill in the thing. For example, I had somebody come to me a few years ago who wanted to run Facebook ads for people. And she'd never run Facebook ads before, but she wanted to hire me to teach her how to run Facebook ads so that she could be a Facebook ads manager for others. And yes, we definitely could do this, but what I ended up advising her on, and she didn't end up buying from me, but what I ended up advising her on was I would rather help you start a business that is from your current area of expertise, which is really sales. She's a really good salesperson. So we can monetize without having this barrier of needing to develop the skill. So what are you interested in? And what are you already kind of sort of skilled at or have some kind of successes in? And then number 3, you want to think about what people are interested in hearing about. So I could be interested in something and I could be skilled in something, but there could be no interest for it in the market at all. And some of the ways you can figure out what the market might be interested in is you can try posting a few different things and seeing what the response is, or you can do really traditional market research and just have conversations with people. When you're doing market research, the words that come out of people's mouths are the words that you want to use. We don't want to get creative. We don't want to get playful. We want to literally say, this person said they're interested in becoming less stressed as a mom. Those are the words you're going to use in your marketing. So that's the first step on getting coaching clients from Instagram, is making sure that you have very clear messaging and you know what you're about. And like I said, all the other things that you're interested in get to be a part of your lifestyle pillars. But when it comes to what we're speaking about and becoming an authority on, we want to make sure that we are speaking to the kind of main platform. The second way to get clients from Instagram is to make sure that you have a clear offer. So now that we've kind of know what we want to be an authority in, we have to know what our offer is. And when I say offer, I'm referring to the thing you're going to sell or how you're going to monetize. That could be a physical product, or in this case, it's obviously going to be coaching. And in this case, because we're talking about coaching, it is your specific thing that you're coaching on and the way that you're coaching. The client in this example has a really unique coaching offer. She's a busy mom like her clients, and she doesn't have time to sit down for an hour at a time every week with a bunch of different people. So what she does is she has a course platform and she customizes that platform for her clients. And then she just texts them and does voice messaging in between calls to have accountability and actually that customized coaching from her. So that is what her offer is. She is a coach with a life coaching offer, but the actual specifics of it are 12 weeks, course access, Voxer access, customized plan. That's her specific coaching offer. And what you're selling and who you're selling to is going to heavily inform a lot of the different kinds of things that you're going to talk about, which we're going to get to in a second. The third way to get clients from Instagram is to make sure to update and optimize your bio. So a couple of things you may never have heard before are, number one, you need to have a good photo, which I know that you know that if you're watching this video. You need to have a good photo of your face if you're a coach, right? So some Instagram brands can use a logo or something different, but when you're a coach, you're a personality brand. People want to see you and connect with you. So you need a picture of your face. And then you want to update your bio. And one thing that's really important about your bio is that your name on your bio needs to be something that is searchable. So the name on your bio is not a place to get creative. Now, if you want to include your name, so like I can say Allison Reeves dash searchable title. So mine is Allison Reeves dash mindset and business coach. I feel like mindset and business coach as a title is kind of like yawn, like it doesn't really interest me. I feel like what I do is a little bit more has more depth to it than just being like a business coach or a mindset coach. But those are the words that my clients are using to search for the expertise that I have. So those are the words I'm going to use in the name for my bio. Now, where you get to be creative, if you want to go into more depth on the specifics of what you do, is that description, because that's not searchable. So you do want to make that a little bit special, still making sure it's very clear what you're doing. But your name on your Instagram bio is searchable. So we don't want to get super fancy and sexy with that name. We want to use the words that people are using. And then in the description of your Instagram is where you can get a little bit more creative on the things that you do and the way that you do them. The next way to get clients on Instagram is to make sure to have a call to action. Now, this is going to be hard to do, but what I recommend is having one link in your bio. And I'm breaking this rule myself because I always want to drive people to multiple things, and I'm doing a lot of different kinds of things. But having a link tree that goes to several different kinds of links, so it could go to a lead magnet and a paid offer and a link to book a call and maybe a recent video of yours. That's totally fine to have a link tree. But when you have a small audience, you want to take advantage of the eyeballs as much as possible. And what's the most important thing when you have a small audience and you want to get coaching sales? It's having conversations. So if I were you and I had a small following on Instagram, I would have the link in bio be just a link to have a conversation with you. Keep it really, really simple. And if you want to get sales, again, if your main priority is to get coaching sales from Instagram, I would probably just have one link in the bio that was a link to have a conversation with you. And the next thing you can do to get clients on Instagram is content, right? So obviously, duh. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys like how to post a story or when to post a story or when to do a post or when to do IGTV. I am going to give you 5 different pieces of content you can use, right? So it's not just about like posting at a coffee shop or a recent trip that you did, but the kinds of content that we want to post when we're getting coaching sales is a little bit different. So there's kind of 5 different buckets and ideas that you can address. Number 1 is educational content. We can teach something. What are the biggest mistakes that people make who are trying to do what you're teaching? What are the things that used to work that no longer do? What are your 5 tips to doing X, Y, and Z? So educational, teaching something. The next kind of content you want to post as a coach is inspirational. It's going to be mindset. It's going to be motivational. And part of the reason why we're going to post inspirational content is because before somebody pays you money to work with you, they usually need a little help getting across that finish line. They usually have their own self-doubts or fears that it's not going to work. So we want to do inspirational content to kind of show them like what it can be like, and that, you know, to help them know this is possible for them. The third type of content that we want to have if we're trying to get coaching clients from Instagram is transformational. This is client stories. This is before and afters. This is showing them what life could be like. And the fourth type is engaging content. This is the content that's just for fun, right? So this could be a question: what are you going to dress up as for Halloween? Or like, what was your favorite Christmas gift you got? Or something stereotypical, or whatever. It could just be a funny observation you've had or a funny experience, but this is just for fun, not related to business. And this does have a place in showing your audience the personality of your brand. It's ideal if you can relate the engaging post to something that's relevant to what you're doing. So for example, I recently manifested a $5,500 retreat for free, which is like probably the most expensive thing I've ever manifested for free that I can think of. I think I manifested other things for free, but they were kind of like somewhat expected, whereas this was like not expected at all. But this is not directly related to my business, but it is somewhat related to my business because I do talk about mindset and manifesting. But this was an engaging post that I shared with my audience. And number 5, this is probably one of the most important pieces of content. It's not going to be the one that you do the most. You need to have enticing content. This is where you are selling things. And you can sell a free thing, like an event or a lead magnet or a free training. And you can sell a paid thing, which is get on the phone with me, go to this link to buy the thing, etc. And the 7th way to get clients from Instagram is to get support. If you're interested in getting Instagram clients for free without having to use paid advertising, without having to use really fancy funnels, especially if you have a small audience, I recommend doing some more research, maybe reaching out to me in the DMs, or if you think you might want some kind of paid support, you can get a strategy call with me and we'll talk about if that makes sense. We'll talk about where you are now and what you've done. I'll give you some direction on the strategy call. And I'll tell you if I have an offer that makes sense to work with you. But either way, whether or not we work together, I promise you're going to get some value on that call. So just to review everything we've talked about so far, if you're just catching me now, there's 7 steps, 7 ways to get coaching clients for Instagram. First is to address your messaging and make sure that you're narrow enough to where people understand who you are and what you're an authority in, but broad enough to where you feel like it's still fun and exciting for you. And number 2, we need to have an offer. So in this case, our offer is going to be the specific coaching thing that we're selling, what that structure looks like, what the promise is. But if you're not going to be a coach, then your offer could be affiliate programs, or it could be brand deals, right? So there's other ways you can monetize Instagram, but this video is all contextualized for coaching. Number 3 is to optimize your bio. And one of the most important things I mentioned is that your name on Instagram needs to be searchable. So don't do something really sexy and interesting. Do something that people are actually looking for, and then you can use your Instagram description to get a little bit more playful and creative. Then we need to have a call to action. If you have a small audience and you're looking to get coaching sales, I recommend just having one call to action, and that is to have a conversation with you. And then we need to have content. Oh gosh, I totally missed a step, which I reviewed 5 pieces of content you can have. And number 6, this is really, really important before I mention support. Number 6 is to curate your visibility. And curating visibility means that we're doing some kind of outreach to grow our platform. So we're engaging in hashtags, we're proactively commenting on people's posts, and we're sending DMs. This is a way to get more visibility regardless of what's happening in the algorithm, is to do this intentional outreach to curate your visibility. Like a museum curator puts together the artwork in a museum, you're going to curate the followers that you have on your feed. So those are the 7 ways to get coaching clients for Instagram. Hope this video was helpful. Leave me all your questions in the comments down below. And if you think you might want help with this or you have questions, you can book a strategy call with me, and the link for that is somewhere on my website at the very least. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.